Okay, so we are going to take a look at a case study here of exactly how commissions impact policy performance. As we touched on in our overview video, commissions do and do not impact performance. They do not impact performance in the sense of working with an agent, whether we work with an agent or directly through an insurance company. If we can do that, that doesn't really exist for the most part, but if we could, the policy would perform in the exact same manner. It's really the design of a policy that's going to impact the policy performance and also the compensation. So the case study we're going to take a look at here is as follows. We have a 41-year-old individual, and he had a lump sum of $500,000, and the goal was taking that $500K, getting it into a life insurance policy and maximizing the cash value. What's the most efficient strategy to do that? They did not want to be obligated to future premium payments. They might make them, but they don't want to be obligated. So what we looked at here first was how to optimize the $500K lump sum. And we've got other lump sum studies as well that goes over exactly how to maximize the cash value. But what was interesting about this case study is he also wanted to see the compensation. Hey, how does policy performance, how's it impacted with different funding scenarios? But then what does the compensation look like? And does that in any way, shape, or form impact the policy performance? Do they have a relationship is the question. Meaning, if I have greater cash value, can the agent still make as much, or naturally will he or she make less? It's interesting when you actually break it down. So we looked at 4 options here as follows. 2 different insurance companies. We're going to take a look at what these numbers mean, this base 93% and base 85%. That is the first year commission with these 2 companies on the base premium. And we've got a full breakdown as we look at the numbers here, so that'll be full disclosure. And the different funding scenarios, this is going to be good education just to see if I'm in a situation and I'm paying a lump sum into a policy, how to maximize it. How do I maximize my cash value? We've got $250K over 2 years, nothing thereafter, $250 in year 1, $50K years 2 through 6, $175 years 1 through 2, then $50,000 years 3, 4, and 5, and then $100,000 per year for 5 years. The net out of pocket in each of these examples is $500,000. The question is, with the same company, same individual, same product, which one gives me the most cash value? And then also, how does that affect compensation in any way, shape, or form for the agent? Let's take a look here. Let's get our screen share up. Perfect. So we are going to look at 2 different companies here, and then the 4 options. So we've got a total of 4 Excel tabs, which we won't have to spend a whole lot of time on each of them, but just want to make sure we cover all the information here. So option number 1, $250,000 in the first and second year. The base premium in this example, we disclosed in bold, $25,000. So he's got a $25K base premium. There is a term rider attached to this as well, and then everything else we're plowing into PUAs. What's highlighted in yellow is the break-even point. That's when I'm cash on cash, we can call it. Year 4 in this example. 500 in, 505 in cash value. Now what these columns represent, base premium commission, year 1, and then year 2 is the renewal commission. I know in the overview video, we stated that renewal commissions average out at about 5% per year. This is 10%. How this company works specifically in respect to renewal commissions on base premium is years 2 through 4, it's 10%, and then years 5 through 10, it's 3%. Different companies have different ways of doing things, but in case you've watched the overview video and saw that that was 5%. 5% of 25,000 would be 1,250. I just want to make sure I make that transparent there because I would question it. Then we've got the PUA commission. The annual commission just shows the total of the base premium and PUA, And then the total commission column is going to tally up how much I made, everything collective, but then over time as well. So 2 payments went into the policy in this example, nothing thereafter, so commissions are not generated here. Total commission to the agent would be just about $39,000 in this example. Okay, with 500 total going in. Now we've got the exact same 500K out of pocket, but 250,000 year 1, 50,000 years 2 through 6. Same company, all that good stuff. Same base premium. So we squeezed the base premium just about as low as we could with this company, 10% of the total outlay. That's why it's at 25,000. 250 in year 1, and then 50 years 2 through 6. Now, from a performance standpoint, this one's not as strong. You've got 520 by year 6, as opposed to over here, you've got 541, almost 542. A couple of reasons. One, time value of money. I got money in faster over in this example. And the other reason is, remember that this is going back to policy design. My base premium is $25,000. So I'm paying the base premium and then another $25,000 on top of it in PUAs. Not optimal in terms of a split or plowing additional PUAs into the policy. So that's why I see it a little bit weaker on the performance. But let's take a look here because we split the funding. Year 1 compensation's identical because the out-of-pocket was identical. What's different, just getting that $500,000 in, this one generated much more commission. Well, I say much more, about $4,000 more. Not quite actually. So we've got $42,300, but which one gave me more cash value? Let's look at year 20. We've actually got it highlighted in bold already, the winner. Guy on the left, 250 over 2 years, you've got $1,066,000 compared to this $1,023,000. So not a huge difference, but I mean a little over 40 grand there. That's with option 1. Let's look at option 2 here. So option 2 displays the 175 in the first and second year, and then 50 through year 5. The purpose of this exercise, when we actually worked with this individual, was not to find out which one generated the least or most commission for the agent. The purpose of this exercise was to see which example would produce the most value for him, for the client. He wanted to see different funding options, so rather than just tell him, here's which one will be the best, he actually wanted to see it. And that's one thing we do. We make it a point to show everyone that we work with the different options rather than just tell them, well, this one's probably the best. Some people are good with that, but if you want to see the options, I do. Well, we're going to show the options. So, break-even point, year 4, total compensation here, $34,000. Year 20, $1,086,000. Then we've got $100K per year for 5 years. Base premium, $10,000. You're seeing the difference in commission now, right? Just about 12. On the example on the left, the compensation, the base premium, I should say, was $17,500. So naturally, that generates a higher commission up front. Now, as time passes, $100K per year for 5 years, so even payments. Now, from a policy design standpoint, I like this one for this particular individual because this company allows us to 10x our base premium into PUAs per year. So we're max funding it year in and year out for a period of 5 years. Whereas this guy, for example, we max funded it years 1 and 2, and then it wasn't quite optimal years 3 through 5. We're seeing, hey, if I get more money up front, will the compounding in here overtake the fact that I just optimize it years 1 through 5? And the answer is year 20. Which one gives me more cash value? Not a big difference, but I'm at $1,094,000 as opposed to over here, $1,086,000. So here's my winner. This does not mean that this one automatically is better for every single individual out there. And where I'm going with that is where this policy might make sense with the 175 in the first 2 years. It really comes from a discussion with the individual. If someone states, hey, I like the idea of having the ability to pay up to $175,000 per year, I might want to do that then more than just the first 2 years. If I keep on feeding it as time passes, I'd like to have the ability to do that. Well, then that's a situation where this might make sense. But that's where really discussion and back and forth planning comes into play. But if I look at the year 20 difference there, here's the winner. And here's the interesting piece, compensation. Which one generated more? Or I should say less. 25,000, just about 26. So let's look at this, the long-term values. Year 50, I've got 4.396. With the example that generated the least commission, 0.39. Here you're at 4.363, so that one did not win. But let's go back and compare it to options 1 and 2. 4.1 and then 4.282. Option 4 was 4.39. So the example that generated the least compensation for the agent generated the most cash value for the consumer and death benefit long-term as well. So we've got more benefit short-term, long-term, all that good stuff. Again, this is not to say that the minimum commission product is just the best one, period. Depends on our goals and such, but that's the kind of stuff I want to be aware of from both sides of the fence. This way I have all the information, full transparency, right? That's the name of the game. We've got no problem disclosing compensation. We do it with anyone who asks. But in any event, I hope that this helps. We'll look at company number 2 next, and enjoy. Thank you so much. Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.